very important concept, which is emotional conflict during JEE and NEET preparation. So, for understanding this topic, let's first talk about the statistical analysis of JEE and NEET. So, as per 2025 statistics, in NEET, and the successful students who are able to make it to the government colleges for MBBS seat, it's about 2.68%. For JEE Main, it's about 1.91%, and for JEE Advanced, 0.67%. Now, to understand it, suppose there are two students, A and B. A also went through certain training program that may be offline or online or at personal level during his studies. He is able to crack these competitive exams, and there is another student B who is not able to clear these exams. So I suppose that A and B are being taught by the same teacher. They use the same training system or the education system or the coaching classes or the teachers. And there are these are the possibilities, the extreme possibilities. Now, if we analyze the training program, that what actually somebody do or does in the training program. So in any training program related to studies, you learn the mind-brain coordination. So if observed at the neurological level, the source of information who is training you, it's an advanced mind-brain system who has learned to form the patterns using information, and he is able actually he is transferring those patterns to you so that you can perform the same operations. Suppose there is a teacher who is teaching you out, so the information the teacher is delivering to you or the patterns that the teacher is delivering, he has taken that information from the books itself, but he has somehow managed or learned the process of transferring information to his own mind brain system, and he has learned how to form patterns using that information, and how to utilize that pattern while delivering the lectures in the class, or how to recall the desired information or how to solve the questions. So teacher is a more advanced version of the mind brain system because he has learned to absorb a lot of information from the books, and he is able to convert that information in the form of patterns. And if you solve any question, then in solving any question you require fetching the correct pattern for that particular question, and for that there is the teacher who is teaching you, he has learned those patterns, and its utilization is comfortable with utilizing the pattern for solving the question. To understand it further, let's take an example. Just ask yourself, how many seconds does a minute has? So I think most of you must be able to retrieve it instantly, that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, because you have repeated that so many times that it has become a part of your automatic memory system. So you can recall that without much efforts. Now let's ask another question, that how many seconds does an hour has? So that's a bit complex, but answer is 3600. This is you can also manage, but it was lengthier than the first question, so you must have felt that complexity in this question. Now ask yourself, how many seconds does a day has? Just take your time to solve this question. So a day has 86,400 seconds. You must have calculated that. Now realize that how you felt when solving these three questions. So obviously option number 3 was the most complex, then 2, then 1. 1 was the least complex. So whenever you solve a particular question, take example of any person, any student, any teacher, any scientist, any scholar, any philosopher. When he or she start working on a problem to fetch the answers, his mind brain system follows an algorithm, and the capacity to get the answers is about the coordination between mind and brain, the use of emotions in them, and a use of strong and complex mind brain algorithm. So, if we analyze any person, he is composed of the brain, the mind, and the coordination between brain and mind, which takes place through the brain waves. And that I call as collectively as the mind brain system. So, as per cracking a competitive exam is concerned, this has entirely to do with the mind brain system. And only those students are able to crack competitive exams who have a well developed, strong, and complex mind brain system, who are able to process complex information. Whereas the students with weak or simple algorithms, they just get stuck up, they feel emotional conflicts, but ultimately thing is that they are not able to decode the patterns given in the question answer, and because of that they are not able to get the answers, and because of that they are not able to get selected. So here the entire turning point is making your mind brain system complex and strong. That is the central task behind studies. But irony is that most of the students whose pictures are displayed in the newspapers that these are the toppers, actually they had their mind brain system already developed. So they can, anybody can teach them. If they were taught by any institution, by any system, by any teacher, they would have performed the same with an error of plus minus 5%. So the students who have a well developed, strong and complex mind brain system, they just need, just a systematic and time, disciplined training. Rest they'll manage themselves. So here the task is not about, working in a certain way, studying for long hours, attending the classes. These are the physical level things. The psychological level things are: is your mind brain system compatible to absorb the information, absorb the patterns, and develop your mind brain system to get the answers. So the journey from the questions to the answer is the key, is the secret behind cracking competitive exams, and it involves a lot of complex things, and out of which the most complex thing is the coordination between brain and the mind. To understand it further, just ask yourself what you studied an hour before and feel that how you feel internally how it feels like. Don't you feel some sort of anxiety inside you, uncomfortable feelings inside you? So that uncomfortable feeling is due to the coordination between mind and brain, and especially the three levels of the mind, the three layers of the mind: the conscious, subconscious, and the unconscious mind. And if you decode these things, if you learn these things in a better way, if you know how to let things to comprehend. So what we can do is that, let things to proceed in the very distributed way. So here the entire thing is about the coordination of the mind and brain. Now let's ask ourselves a very simple question: that why learning is painful. You must have seen that at any time we are trapped in the matrix, in the thoughts, in some sort of process, and there is something inside us which keeps us being engaged in a certain way. So either we are being engaged in some work, or we are engaged in some thoughts or some process, but there is something inside us which keeps us busy all the time, which keeps us roam around here and there, but we stick to something. So there is something inside us which don't want us to think freely, which don't let us think freely. And there is a secret of the nature, that if you want to know things beyond an average person, the first thing you need to have is to observe things silently, to be in silence, to observe everything, even your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, everything happening inside you. So if you want to make your mind brain system complex and strong, the first thing is have silent observation, have a silent mind, and observe everything silently, without reacting, without being trapped in the matrix of your own mind brain system, which is always about the past. So just observe things happening within you, and only then you can develop your mind brain system and can achieve success in competitive exams. So I was just discussing about why learning is painful. So it is because of the brain waves. Brain waves are just a connecting mechanism between brain to the mind. To understand the concept of brain waves, just repeat the thought experiment that we did. Just ask yourself what you did an hour before. What subject, what chapter, what topic, what subtopic, what were the questions, what were the answers. And feel that what is happening within you. Don't you feel like something is uh, disturbed within you? There is a certain disturbance created in you, and there is something which is trying to control that disturbance. That is the flight mode of the brain. Because when you will ask yourself about the past, you need to use the subconscious mind. And for using that subconscious mind, you need to increase your brainwave frequencies. And if you increase the brainwave frequencies, more energy will be needed. And your brain, the reptilian brain whose task is to make you survive, it will try to stop everything that is causing you to drain out your energy. So the first thing is you need to fight with your own mind brain system. You need to fight with the flight mode of the mind. And that requires something metaphysical, because brain has the task to stop everything that is a threat to your life, that keeps you in painful situation, that gives you stress. So the first milestone is to fight with your own mind brain system. Now the brain waves can be decomposed of alpha, beta, gamma, delta and theta based on EEG experiments. So these all are experimentally verified by a number of neurosurgeons by the technique called as EEG. And if we arrange the brain waves in terms of frequencies, so there is delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma in terms of increasing frequencies. Frequencies of delta are the lowest and of gamma are the highest. So delta waves are the brain waves exist when you are in deep sleep, and gamma brain waves are there when you are highly enlightened, you become thoughtless, and you are highly involved into something. So that is the concept for the gamma waves. Now the thing is that normally brain waves have low frequencies. They are just to make you survive and reproduce, the normal brainwave frequencies. But to do something out of the box, you need to increase the frequencies. And for increasing the frequencies, energy is consumed. So brain activity activates the flight mode. You will try to run away from that. It explains why when students are being asked to study, the first reaction internally is a flight mode activation. They will try to flight away. They will find excuses to run away from studies because it is a painful process, because it involves transitions to higher energy states which requires energy. So brain will stop any activity that requires you to put your life in danger or put you in stressful situation. So that is task of the brain itself. In that case you will feel fear, anxiety, depression, hurry, etc. And they now the concept here is that mind brain system can be trained for dominating the flight mode. So that is the secret to crack competitive exam. You need to train your mind brain system to dominate the flight mode of the mind, because you must have seen that when you try to solve a particular question, the first reaction of the brain is it will activate the flight mode. You will feel anxiety, depression, hurry, and a sort of emotional conflict, and you will not be able to work on that particular problem. For example, in JEE NEET, there are about 6,000 A4 size pages, and exam comes from 25 to 30 pages. That means out of one page, out of 200 page, only one page is relevant as per cracking JEE NEET is concerned. So you need to have that much sharpness in you, that much focus in you, that you can retrieve any of the 6,000 pages, any page, any line, any paragraph, any formula, any question can be asked. So you should be mentally prepared for that extent. So in this way, you must have analyzed that it's not just you study and you get selected. It is the game of your entire mind brain system, the efficiency of the mind brain system, and more particularly the retention process or the use of the subconscious mind to fetch what you studied during, let's say, mostly about 2 years. Although it involves learning from class 1 to 12, but mostly it's from class 11th and class 12th. So do remember, the retention process is the secret to crack GE NEET. So if you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.